My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend. I'm Doogie Howser. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, and for this show and this show only, I'm not going to make an appearance because not only do I look like absolute trash, I didn't have time to put the curtain up since Space Coast Comic-Con, so the room looks like trash. But I'm going to make a bet with all of you folks. If we are just 25 people away, 25 subscribers from our YouTube channel for making 2,200 tonight, if you can get those 25 people to come on over and subscribe, not only will I turn on the camera, you will get to see Summer. No, I'm serious. You will get to see Summer in her live debut on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, but only if you can get 25 people to get over to our YouTube channel. So tonight we're going to be talking about conventions, and as you can see, we have our special guest. Get me off of this. Gotta find it. There we go. But yeah, we have a special guest tonight that will be in our after party. We're going to be featuring Tim Hunt. He is the co-owner and showrunner of Capital City Comic-Con. That's going to be taking place in Lansing, Michigan. And Mackenzie, can you tell us a little bit about the convention? Not too much because we're going to talk a lot more about it in the after party. But for people who are not familiar with it, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on over there?
Yeah, so it's actually a convention that this is going to be my first year too going to this convention, so I'm really excited about it. It is a convention that takes place in the summertime, early summertime. This year will be July 8th to the 10th in Capital City Comic-Con, which is in Lansing, Michigan, and I'll be there as a guest, and I'll be doing panels as well.
All righty. And we're going to be talking tonight, particularly 3 conventions, and I think Dave might be joining us in the after party, but I got some pictures over here. If not, we're going to be talking about conventions and what are the plans for the conventions that are coming up. And any questions or concerns, I can see the chats are lighting up right now. Bring them. Talk to us. And let us know about conventions that you may want to see us over at in your neck of the woods out there. But first, let me go ahead and introduce the team. First of all, let's just say hello to Melanie Dean. How you doing there, Melanie?
I'm doing well. Here's a question. Who is Summer?
Oh, you will find out maybe tonight. Like I said, 25 people. I just need 25. I'm going to explain later.
Okay.
I'll explain during the show. But she's very nervous. I think she's very camera shy. I want to say hello to the regular folks. Mark Robinson. How you doing there, Mark? And calm down, Summer. If that's a hint.
That might be a hint.
I already knew.
Summer is.
Hello, Melina. How are you doing?
Oh, my hair's horrible. Sorry. Everything's akimbo in my room.
That's why I'm...
It's the post-convention. It's the post-convention fun of going, nothing is straight. I put all the stuff back that I didn't, I have less painting, so I need to get
So that means these paintings sold, right? That means they went bye-bye.
Yes, they're in their all little homes now. So time to start painting some more. Yeah, luckily a lot of stuff left me and went to Comic-Con. So
that's awesome.
Or not Comic-Con, went home from Mega. I sold a lot at MegaCon, so a lot of it went home to, I'm assuming, Orlando, Kissimmee, Tampa, whoever kind of traveled within Florida.
Good.
So yeah.
Good. Speaking of glad to be here, here he is, the legend himself, Mark Muncie. You can check him out at Erie, Florida. You can also check out his weekly show on YouTube, Erie Travels, on the YouTube channel, which I'm now watching religiously.
Oh, yay.
Awesome,
yeah. Sorry we missed this week, but we'll be back next week.
Yeah, whatever. Taking a break.
Yeah, because I was recovering from 2 conventions back to back. So,
out of all the shows that you've done so far, and for Erie Travels, which one is the one you like the most? Which one was the most fun episode?
I mean, they've all been fun because I'm hitting some of my favorites. I think I did the one on the Flatwoods Monster, which was one of the most recent. was one I've been wanting to do for a long time, because a lot of people just don't know the whole story, and it's probably the closest to a true life alien encounter that we know. And it's one of those ones that's, because it's not Roswell, everybody's like, it didn't happen. But we have a lot of witnesses and a lot of weird things happen. So I got to deep dive that one quite a bit. That one was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Again, remember, it is Eerie Travels on the YouTube channel. Just look for that mug right there and his John Nathan Turner shirts.
Oh, yeah. All the Hawaiian prints. Yeah. So.
That was the first thing Chrissy asked. He was like, where does he get his shirts from? It's just like...
The algorithm knows me. And cons. Cons are really good for Hawaiian print shirts. So...
Then we also have the lovely Mackenzie Floor. How you doing, Mackenzie?
Hello. Well, yeah, I was actually invited there. So I just haven't made it up there yet. So for whoever's mentioning.
Oh, you've been invited, but you haven't gone yet.
Yeah,
oh,
I've been invited there as well as Chicago TARDIS, but I haven't made it to either of those places. Actually, I was supposed to go to Long Island, I think it was actually the one the year the pandemic happened. I was supposed to go there and do some signings, but it just unfortunately didn't happen.
We were talking about that because I know Ken Deep. He hasn't contacted me yet. I should message Ken. He's a cool dude. Yeah, he is a cool dude. I just lost contact since, that little thingy went around and ruined it for everybody out there. Chris Connick, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Disco Extravaganza. Did you change your name, Tom? Seriously?
Yes.
I didn't even think you could do that on YouTube. It's almost like an act of Congress. It's like, I'm going to change my name. Nope, that's not going to happen. These pretzels are making me thirsty, as they should. Long Island Who sounds like... Yes, it is. It is. It is a cocktail. It is a beautiful cocktail there. We can get Mark Robinson. And don't forget, we've got an episode coming up next week. We are going to be talking with the Guardians of Gallifrey and the hashtag guru. You know him better as Tom Kosick. He's always throwing up the hashtags out there. Well, guess what? He was also a former Lord President of the Guardians of Gallifrey, and we'll also be having the current Lord President of the Guardians of Gallifrey. And if I'm not mistaken, I asked Tom, he said, I think they've been around since 1986. Wow. So these guys have got they've been a while, and they're still kicking it. Dan, how you doing there? Last Man Standing. Check him out, Dan Holyfield on the Last Man Standing over at his YouTube channel. But yeah, they've been kicking in since 1986, and still to this day, they meet over at Sci-Fi City, and they watch an episode. They have a monthly meeting, and they watch an episode of Doctor Who. And it's usually, I think it's random, whatever Arthur's picked that month. I guess
Sci-Fi City. I think even back then it was still Enterprise 1701.
It was Enterprise 1701, and then there was Enterprise
early meetings.
And then when they expanded, they called the expansion 1701A.
Hey, yep.
And then they completely moved the store all the way over to Home Depot over on Colonial. They stayed on Colonial, but they moved a little further up where.
Yeah, they had the big warehouse store for a little while.
Yeah.
And now it's a nice size. Yeah.
Yeah, they got it. And what I love about it is they actually have gaming going on in there. They have the Guardians. I came in with a meeting, just watch. They were watching an episode of Doctor Who, and they were just sitting around and they critiqued it, and they have a good time. They have a little snack thing going on. So, what's Liberty Con there, Dan? That'd be awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm going to Liberty Con this upcoming weekend too. So, I put some dates in so people who have been tell us the location, the date. So, if you happen to be in the area, you can go see our friend Dan out there, Dan Holyfield of The Last Man Standing.
I'm sadly missing Spooky Empire for their summer event, which is this weekend. But
really?
I never miss a spooky. But it's book launch weekend for me. Yeah, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it's book launch weekend for me. So I'm at bookstores all across the South. So I'm gonna try to squeeze in a day at Spooky on the way back, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So.
I'm just going to squeeze this in. If you guys didn't catch the Who Knew News earlier, good evening, pizza. Hello, Andrew. If you guys didn't know, there we go, Tom. I forgot who's on the panel tonight. I can't wait until the next week. When I'm on, I've got props, giving yourself a plug, test out my new voices. Yeah, Tom just got a new camera.
Nice.
He was telling me about, I got a new camera. It's working. He's telling me along the way how everything's working. It was great. Before we go to the first commercial break, and then we're going to discuss conventions. For those of you, we had the Who Knew News this afternoon. I was there with Dave, and I guess you heard the news and you saw a quick pic of it. This guy is going to be showing up in the 60th anniversary. There's a bunch of rumors about who he will be playing, but from Sci-Fi Radio, let me pull up the ad. Neil Patrick Harris will be joining the cast of Doctor Who, which is already have an impressive cast for the 60th anniversary, and they confirmed that last Monday. According to showrunner Russell T Davies, it's my huge honor to open our doors to the mighty Neil Patrick Harris. But who, why, what is he playing? You'll just have to wait. Team, what do you think about, and Melanie, I'll start with you. What do you think about Neil Patrick Harris? Not only in here, which I even said, this is what Sony money will do. This is what good Sony money, not BBC money, Sony money can actually pull off. And there's also been this discussion, and we can go into after the commercial break. There's also been this discussion that there are a lot of Whovians that are upset that RTD is really pushing 60th anniversary and Shooty because it's drowning out Jodie just a little bit out there. But I have a retort to that. So, Melanie, your take on Mr. Harris?
I'm excited to see what he provide, he brings to the table and what goes on. That's the thing, is I'm not very much a big spoilerly person, so I'm good. The bar is low for me, and okay, I really don't get into the spoilers kind of. I mean, and that's the bad thing, is I'm on that kind of bench of there's so much coming out for the 60th, and the 60th is a while from now.
Yeah,
we're gonna have another season between. And we're already filming the 60th, and Jodie's not gone yet. And it's just really, really, it's kind of funny that so much is being talked about it, and that it's filming right now, and that we're not going to see this for a while. I mean, a long while.
Now, there's a concern that a lot of I can't count them out, but there is a handful of Whovians at least that are concerned that RTD is kind of pushing Jodie out of the limelight by pushing 60th and Shooty into the limelight a little bit there. Do you think that's a fair assumption? Because I'm going to say, well, the same thing happened to Peter Capaldi.
100% happened to Peter. That's what I was about to say.
He was yanked out of the... Yeah, and we also know that RTD is Barnum and Bailey Circus. He is the ringmaster. He's going to be pushing all this. So...
No, I agree with Andrew on that. It's probably released to avoid leaks. And if you're going to have to be forced to do something to avoid leaks, you might as well promote it. So I absolutely understand the reasoning and the background behind why you're doing it. But I'm just kind of still in a, damn it.
Too many leaks. You think there might be too much information out there? I think he's just pushing it to get the attention. Do you think it's too early?
I don't think you can ever build the hype train too early.
So. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and Mark would know from being an author is even when we do it, we're at least supposed to 6 months in advance, at least, and that's minimum that you should be promoting a book. And we know there's more than 6 months, so it's not really that big of a deal.
Which is fair. I mean, to be like promoting a book, but you're not going to be promoting book 3 when you haven't released books 1 and 2 yet.
True.
That's where I'm kind of like cart before the horse a little bit.
Though I don't necessarily believe that what's going on right now is all of the 60th anniversary. There is a rumor going around that there may be some specials that's going on. And there was actually a poster that was posted today that showed December 24th to 26th. It was like a circus poster. And it had what looked like could possibly be Neil Patrick's character, without actually, somebody already in chat already said who I would do without saying for spoilers, because I don't know for sure it is that way, but I already agree with Andrew who said it in the chat.
I'm just letting you know, 25 more people and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I just want to let you know, I'm not going to be too spoilery, but Summer's licking my left finger right now. So if we can get 25 more people, I will bring on Summer as our special guest tonight, as well as our other guests coming from Capital City Comic Con is Tim Hunt, showrunner and co-owner of that location there. Mark, what did you think when they released the name of Neil Patrick Harris? Plus, you and I are Classic Who, so there was this name being tossed around, and it looks like Dr. Freedom is putting the confirm button on, or at least one of his episodes is. I'm still got the lever pulled back.
I know they've been bringing up Celestial Toymaker like crazy because Big Finish brought him back, and there was a lost Russell Davies episode where he was supposed to be on, and they never filmed it. So of course it became one of the Big Finish lost stories. So that's what a lot of the classic Whovians are saying. Oh, look, he's Celestial Toymaker. I think with the Sony money, I think he's Dr. Michael Morbius, and it's going to be the Spider-Verse. So, but because it's Morbin time.
Watch it.
No. Honestly, I would be happy if he was Dr. Horrible, and they brought him back as Doctor. Come on, it would be great.
Doctor versus
Doctor. He's one of the lost incarnations, that has the power to sing. I don't know. It could go either way with that. I know Neil Patrick Harris is an awesome guy. He's done a lot of amazing projects. And if he's put his effort into it, it's going to be incredible. So, bring on Lemony Snicket. I'm good.
I hadn't even seen the TV series Lemony Snicket. Andrew Moore says BBC Centenary in October, a full 13 months before 60th. But one rumor is there will be multiple 60th specials
what
throughout
I heard too.
20. Yeah, it's not just one episode. It's going to be at least
it'll be
3 episodes. Yeah,
it should be great. That's what they should do, because I think they blew it with the 50th. We could have had a whole season. We could have done all this. We had one block episode. It was a great episode, but still, that's all we had that whole year. This is the 50th anniversary of your most popular show, and this is what you give it. So for 60th, let's do it right. I think Russell Davies understood that they screwed it up, and so I'm thinking we're going to get more than just one big thing. And hopefully it's not Flux,
I would love that.
and we get a lot of better stuff.
Oh, Ramona, stop spoiling us. I already know about that rumor. If they do, wait a minute. If they bring back Meep, holy cow, that would be awesome. I would love to see the CGI. However they would do Meep, but Meep is evil. Meep is totally evil. I love it. I did hear the ratings war. And if you want to know about the character Beep the Meep, which is the name being thrown around, check out the Sixth Doctor, and I think the Fourth Doctor met him, but I know for a fact the Sixth Doctor had him in.
Let's bring in Forbinger, the 6-foot penguin from the comics, and he's been in a few big.
Frobisher.
Well, let me put it this way, Mackenzie. You think they're bringing in Big Finish? You think it's now making its way into the Whoniverse finally, as far as the television series is concerned?
Absolutely, I do, because one of the things that I have heard is that RTD is planning on mixing in comics and audios from what's been done previously and mixing it in, similar to how like we got Dalek in Christopher Eccleston's time, because that was originally a Big Finish audio. So yeah, I definitely think that that's going to happen. Plus, if he plans on doing this kind of Marvel universe, that would be the perfect way to do it. I know if I was the showrunner right now, that's what I would be doing. I would be doing a 60th anniversary mixing in all form, like what they did with Time Lord Victorious. Do something to that sort, so you hit the fans from every aspect that you can, instead of just isolating to one specific area.
You know what's scary? We have to remember that Doctor Who is Marvel, and it's now in Sony's hands.
Yep.
I want to see like a No Way Home, just where it just blows our mind and just completely goes into a Nutsville.
Bring in Absalom Doc, the Dalek killer.
This is just bringing everybody.
I think Mackenzie's right in that you see how Marvel's built their universe. Star Wars is starting to do the same thing with their episodic programming on trying to pull all these other little things into canon. RTD can start doing that if he wishes.
Yep. Speaking of wishes, we are going to a commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue our discussion about conventions that we've had, conventions coming up in the future, and we'll be joined with our special guests at the after party to speak Capital City Comic-Con. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Jamie Engel, critically acclaimed author of The Toilet Papers, Places to Go While You Go, a short story collection suited to match your bathroom needs. Only have to go a little? No problem. I've got stories under 1,000 words for you. Far from poopin'? I've got you covered, with stories over 5,000 words to keep you occupied, while your latrine stays occupied. And that's not all. The Toilet Papers is endorsed by the fine folks from Squatty Potty, the stool for better stools. But don't take my word for it. See what Dookie the Squatty Potty Unicorn has to say on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. Well, I've got to go, but you can grab your copy of The Toilet Papers on Amazon in ebook or print, or get an autographed copy from me at therightangle.com. And don't worry, I promise I'll wash my hands first. The Toilet Papers. You might just stay in the bathroom longer than you need to.
Is it just a commercial?
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night, and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live, and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
You know what, Mackenzie? To hell with it. Let's do it.
Oh, brilliant! It's hard to believe that in the 56-year history of the greatest sci-fi television show in the English language, there has never been a fan guide to Doctor Who. The official books might give you what they think you need to know, but only a guide written by a true fan will give you what you really want to know. Join Whovian, the brilliant Mackenzie Floor, as she takes you on an intensive journey inside the world of the first female Doctor. In the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, Season 11. Right, let's get a shift on.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, and we will be talking about conventions, both past and future tense, as we move on in this episode there. And please join us. And again, if I get 25 subscribers, which you guys are slacking, you will get to see me and Summer make a special appearance tonight here on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We welcome Mark Muncie, the lovely Mackenzie Floor, the lovely Melanie Dean. Tonight we are talking about conventions in the past. It's a bit of a shame we have so many spoilers for next year's Who.
But are they? Are
Yeah,
they spoilers? We just know Donna and and Wolf and and 10 and 10. Is that a spoiler? It's a multi-doctor story.
People live in Cardiff. People live in Cardiff. Filming locations are dropping TikToks from the filming daily. Fortunately, I'm avoiding most of them.
That's why they're releasing things like Neil Patrick Harris and all that, because otherwise it's going to come out.
Yeah, it's going to come out in the wash.
Yeah,
but here's the thing.
Coincidence that picture of that I was talking about that had to do with the circus, and then earlier there was somebody posted a clock that looked like the Celestial Toy Maker's clock. It's like, okay, so people are still doing it anyway. So one way or the other. I'm with you, Andrew. Though I'm personally not one of those people. I'd like to get a bunch of spoilers like that because it kind of ruins the excitement for me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I am excited they're actually doing something because I think we can all in this chat can agree that Doctor Who as a whole during Jodie's run has been absolutely dreadful when it's come to marketing. Just completely let her down. And they're continuing to do that by not posting more about this Celestial episode and having RTD run the show now.
I like the fact that this has been bringing back up a lot of excitement for Doctor Who and for the brand. I think for me, I'm just wary that, and again, I understand if you're going to have 15 million TikToks and, IG stories, posted daily, you need to stay in front of it. But I almost think it's like, oh God, are we getting oversaturated with it as well? So, I mean, I understand everything. I can just still be futzy and go about it.
Here's the
the
thing.
way it is. I mean, look when they filmed with Eccleston and Tennant, way back, social media wasn't even a thing. It was early days. So, that was why it was such a big shock when it happened at the end of season 1. Nowadays, we knew about everybody weeks before, months before, years before. So it's just, that's the way of the world now. So,
well, let me present this in 2 lights. One, who's not to say this is not even a thumbnail of what's going to be coming?
Exactly.
We look at this as a lot of spoilery goodness and information and stuff. I was like, really, are you going to? And then we find out, there is a hell of a lot more to this 60th anniversary episode.
This is the first 10 minutes. Look at the Tom Baker cameo in the 50th. Nobody knew about that.
Exactly. And my argument has always been that, I think when it came to Day of the Doctor, I think Night of the Doctor should have been the opening. It should have been like this longer episode where we start off with the 8th Doctor and his episode. It should have been connected.
Definitely robbed.
To make him just a YouTube moment, that just like, okay, whatever. I get what they were saying. Sarah Fisher, hey, I wouldn't call them spoilers. I would say they're teasers to get you excited, especially if they want to bring in new viewers. Yeah.
It's a good point.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
They would kill to have the David Tennant numbers back, and that's 100% why he's all over everything.
Who knows?
Right now, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's for you, Melanie.
Bringing in new excitement. I mean, I'll be honest, during Jodie's run for my binge watcher guy, when I went to conventions, nobody understood what it was. Nobody was really interested in it. Now people are coming up to my table, and I sold out on my very first day at Motor City. I'm like, dang, I should have ordered more. So that is like giving the opportunity for new viewers to catch up. I had other people like, well, I've never even watched Doctor Who. I know of it, but I don't know where to start. I said, here, take this book. So all these teasers too is also giving me more of an opportunity also to expand my second edition book.
And if I'm not mistaken, that Doctor Who won an award for marketing. I gotta say the other way. I just like, how?
Yep.
I mean, for the marketing, I was like, I knew as much as anybody else knew. There were people I knew didn't know Flux was even coming up.
Yep.
The merchandise for Jodie was almost unexistent, unless it was something like.
What was the award? UK or US?
I think it was UK.
UK.
Then that's stuff that we're not going to have optics on.
Yeah.
No, but that's fine. But I meant to say that. Look at the excitement now. They just mentioned Shooty. And we're seeing David Tennant pictures and Donna pictures and this alternate Rose picture. And we're now seeing, Neil Patrick Harris coming into play. Now we're all like gung-ho excited. And all we're hearing is little bits and rumors and things of this nature. This wasn't something I saw in Jodie's time, which I think it was very detrimental to just getting the excitement that she needed to keep the series going, because if people were excited for Jodie and the way Chibnall handled things, I think we would be talking about Jodie in the 60th if she's not there. Yeah. There's a possibility she's there, but who's the lead doctor now in the 60th? Well, it's back to David Tennant again. So and everybody's completely bonkers about this. Everybody's completely bonkers about Shooty. So as much as I wasn't crazy about the Chibnall time, I also say that it also didn't get what it needed to help it out. Now that Sony has got it, I think you got RTD driving up in his Doctor Who mobile, flaunting everything out there made of diamonds, going like, everybody look at me. Yeah. And everybody's looking because everybody's excited for what's coming up next. We got a new Doctor.
All blinged out.
Exactly.
I could deal with that.
She's painted yellow and she looks like Bumblebee now. She can transform. So. Exactly there. But speaking of which, we're going back to conventions. So Melanie, if you want, if you can take the lead, tell me what you think a little bit about MegaCon, your booth, and how the panels went. Well, you had one panel out there too.
Oh, I had a panel in addition to the Traveling TARDIS panels. Yes.
Right.
So when I could get away from my booth, it was just an insanely busy convention, and that was the thing. Is like I know I wasn't able to make it to all of the TLTT panels because it was just insane.
I know.
How busy, and I had 2 people helping me, and so it was even then. when I was trying to get going, it's like I can't leave. I had coverage, but I couldn't leave because I was still. We needed everybody, all hands on deck. It was nuts. Unfortunately, I took home a little extra something from that convention.
How many cats can you have in that house?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it was a bit of a super spreader, and a lot.
Oh, that one, yeah.
With that. Yeah. Or they came home with a variant of just con crud. So,
yeah,
hey,
I had my
vax
sinus
boosted,
infection.
we're good, but it's still the cough's still kind of
I'm not trying to downplay it, but it's the chance we have to take. And never, I think people were boosted. I got the sinus infection. I thought I had the C word, but it turned out to be just a really bad sinus infection. Even the doctor was.
Well, it did teach me on wearing my mask more often again, because I'm not going through that again. Oh. Yeah, a lot of I know a lot of people were like kicking themselves, like I should have worn my mask more. And I'm like, I know, right? So yeah, if then the next, I'm at Tampa Bay. That's happening.
I do my con crud prevention methods. I have not gotten con crud in 10 years. And it's you take 5 days before, you take emergency every 5 days or whatever vitamin C you prefer. I'm not sponsored by emergency, but that's the one. So 5 days before, you take that every day. During the con, you take it every day. And then 5 days after, you take it every day. So if you do get anything, you got so much vitamin C protecting you. It's
unfortunately, my con crud methods did not pan out.
I've done that.
I was doing emergency. I was doing my vitamins. I boosted out all that stuff up, and it just wasn't enough. But
same here. I ended up getting allergies. I'm allergic to smoke, and I'm allergic to marijuana. I'm allergic to the pollen. I'm allergic to ragweed. You name it, I'm pretty much allergic to it. So basically, anybody breathing in my face, I'm going to get sick with allergies. So I knew it was going to happen, and I knew it. And for me, when I went to Motor City, it happened to me actually on the last day of convention. It was Saturday, so the day before. I was actually in the middle of a pitch to somebody, and I heard my voice crack. I'm like, oh no, So I knew already, and my wife.
And I thought for me Sunday, I just lost my voice because I was just talking so much. Oh, and I was sucking down lozenges left and right too. So I thought it was it's that, and I was like, aha.
That's what
I forgot to pack mine.
Correcting for Gen Con because of the fact I am going to bring a bunch of Jolly Ranchers, so not to let Dex. I had forgotten how much I used to be a phone banker, so I used to have a job where I talked 24/7. So I was used to it. I haven't done that for a couple of years, so I've forgotten how quick my voice just.
Yeah.
My little headset,
That's
my little headset thing with the Bluetooth speaker saved my life, and that's the thing.
I saw you wearing that at one point, and I'm like, that's a smart idea.
It's a smart thing. It's just get a little Bluetooth speaker, and you just get a Bluetooth headset, and then you can talk through your mask. You can talk whatever, and you don't have to shout to get over the 80,000 people that are in the convention center.
Yeah.
And when they're doing the now arriving, Brendan Fraser, and you're just
can you show me the one that you've got? Because I know that was one thing people were always. They told me at Motor City that they could not hear me, so I kept.
I haven't unpacked from cons because I'm doing so many cons, so that's why behind me.
I still have stuff in one of my suitcases too.
I still have all my boxes still in my car.
This is my charging bag, so I've got my recharge kit that'll recharge anything.
Yep.
You have that for your con.
Yep.
Hey, look, there's my emergency. But this is the little speaker. All right.
Oh.
And then you get a little, thing to wear it if you want. Yeah. But I usually just set it on the booth.
Okay. It's literally the same kit that you can use for cosplayers use for like the Mandalorian and all that kind of stuff. The little mic.
Okay, that makes sense.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Wow. Yes, I'm going to have to
look disintegration.
That would help out tremendously.
Best $30 you'll ever spend. So.
Yeah, I definitely am going
to. No, Ramona, no candy. Actually, well, maybe for Melanie, but I still have like maybe at best 6 pieces. I was giving out as promised, the people who were asking for candy who came up to my booth, I gave it. Nothing against Mark, but I was just like, dude, I'm watching my sugar levels, so I'll sample some of my stuff, but that's it. I do have like 5 or 6 pieces, but I'm eating those gingerly out there. I think there's another thing, not only vitamin C, I'm at that age, you need sleep. You need your body to rest.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that is hugely important.
Eating, fluids, making sure you're drinking your water.
And not only that, it did with respect to our
jalapenos on your nachos so you clear out your sinuses. That was your problem, Melanie. You dodged all the jalapenos.
I'm not eating jalapenos. That's right, because I kept pushing them over to you like, no.
What all those things?
So the TLTT team that was there, we all went out to dinner one night, and we ended up getting like a big thing of nachos, and we were all so very careful, making sure that you're just grabbing your chip, pulling whatever you can. We were being very, very, very like just conscientious of it, of the world we live in when it comes to disease, but also like second, you don't want to do this.
That lasted about 5 seconds.
It was funny though. It's like, but that's a piece of chicken.
Funny.
Mark, you're not gonna leave that piece of chicken there, right? It's staring right at you. It's
didn't.
staring at Carrie.
Yep.
Well, we want to thank MegaCon and everybody at Fan Expo for giving us a particular thing that we were just blessed to do on Thursday. We were the very first podcast of the very first people of the very first stage, and they're going to continue it on. We were part of the creator stage for the 10th anniversary of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and I cannot thank them enough for letting us go. They recorded us live. Dave has an edited special of the 10th anniversary over there, so that you can see us, as well as he's going to be putting images and stuff. He's working on that, so that should be coming soon. And I also want to thank Thomas Rochester, Thor. I think Thor, Thunder, and Lightning. What is this? Lights, Thunder, and Action. Yeah, Lights, Thunder, and Action. For hosting our panel for the 2.5 hours over here up there. I believe it was great. And also, if you can see to Thor's left, Dalek Hal has now become a bit of an icon for the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. He's been traveling with us, and he was over with me at Space Coast Comic-Con. Can you believe they only gave us that booth at first? And I had to go, Jake, I got 2 Daleks coming. And that's it. I won't have anything for any space over there. But there's Dalek Hal and Dalek Ren, and they were going to be joining us over at the Space Coast Comic-Con. Tampa Bay Comic-Con at the end of July. Don't forget to get your tickets. But they're going to be there, and they're going to be frightening things. One of the things that Hal and I came up with is that if we find Christopher Eccleston, I'm going to put my hands up, and Hal's going to be walking with me and like pretending that Hal's chasing me. And so that's what we're going to be doing for that. But that's the idea. So we want to thank Dalek Hal, the Dalek.
And I'm sorry I missed the 10th anniversary, but they put my panel up against.
Yeah, what was that about?
I'm like, really? Yeah, but that was
seriously.
It was insane, though. I mean, I thought Thursday, 5 o'clock, who the heck's going to come to my panel? The thing didn't open until 4.
Yeah.
And they put the paranormal peeps. I don't know if you guys saw MegaCon, main floor.
You had a room. I mean, your room was like going off
miles away. They put us as far away from everybody else as possible. The horror area and paranormal area was as far away from everybody as it could possibly be in the convention center. And we were like in another time zone, but it didn't matter. I was packed. It was insane. Yeah. People didn't care. And
we're running late on the commercials. And when we return, we're going to continue our discussion. Everybody stay for the after party because we're going to have Tim Hall in just a few moments. Talk about Capital City Comic-Con. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, become part of the legend.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
I can't believe Summer is snoring right behind me. It is the cutest thing in the world. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. For those of you just joining us, we're talking about prior conventions, future conventions coming up. Don't forget, Tampa Bay Comic-Con is the last weekend in July. You're going to see myself and Dalek Hal over there, and we had some great pictures of me and Dalek Hal going out over there. This is just a very small thumbnail. We had some wonderful panels over at MegaCon, and this was Jess Nicole's first panel. Our friends from Sites and Side Quests, and her daughter got to be part of the panel now too. So this was wonderful. This was the one panel that Mark could actually come up to. So there we go.
Surprisingly free for one panel. So. And even then, I got back to my booth, and there was a line of people that were very mad that I wasn't there. It was like,
where is he? Bring him back.
So I had to sign books ahead of time because I'm like, I know that's going to happen to me.
That's what I do, but it's still, they want the personal experience. So,
exactly, yeah. And then you'd be like, you have to tell them, oh, I'm sorry, they're in a panel. You're going to have to come back to this time. Oh, wait, we have to come back. Why?
But then the big celebrities, they can go away for 4 hours and nobody cares, and people still no harm.
No harm, not harm.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. They can.
That line for Kevin Conroy never got smaller, so
that's true. Yeah.
I just wanted to say hi to Ashley, and her line never got smaller. I'm just like, oh, Brendan Fraser. I'm like, no way.
No, you weren't going to go near him.
that was not going to happen.
Yeah, the big way. The big author. That's what you always do with these cons. Is the people were complaining. Oh, I never got to see this person. I never got to see that person. If you didn't buy tickets to meet, I remember MegaCon Tampa was actually not a success, but the David Tennant and Billy Piper thing. If you didn't order tickets for them 2 weeks or a month in advance, you didn't get to see them, and that's and people are upset about that. I'm like, but that's the way these big guests are. They're only there for a day or two.
Oh yeah.
You gotta plan ahead.
When it comes to Comic Cons or any other type of convention, that personally, there's two rules of that. Is if you can prepay, if it's someone that you want to see, prepay that you can. And the second one is don't go to a convention for one specific guest because they can cancel. A lot of these actors and talent are working. They might cancel. So don't go there specifically for one person.
Right. I equate it to
I want all my friends who love Maddie. I mean, I love Matt too, but it's like there's this joke that if I'm not there, he cancels, and it's happened every time. So they're like, "My kids, why did you go with this one?" I'm like,
because if you prepay their autograph or you prepay a photo and they cancel, you'll get your refund. Yeah, but they're not going to refund your ticket.
It was the last MegaCon on the Thursday afternoon that Christopher Eccleston bailed.
Yeah, but actually, that was why he's one of those guys. He's not coming to Mega back. He's going to Tampa Bay because he apparently canceled long before that. It just didn't get announced till then. So he was upset because he kind of got the ball dropped on him, even though he didn't cancel at the last minute. So he was upset with MegaCon. So
Dan says,
really, because he went to Denver. He was at Denver.
I know he's at Denver. Apparently they've made up, but that was one of the reasons why he didn't do MegaCon. That's why he's doing Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense, huh?
My wife and I have been going to LibertyCon for the past 16 years. Wow, except for lockdown when they went virtual to protect everyone's health. And we want to give a big shout out to our friends who were there. First of all, we want to thank Phantasmagoria for giving us a special presentation of their show for the vendors. And I'm going to say this, I am so sorry, guys. Please do it again, but we will make sure we get the word out even harder for the vendors out there. You guys put on a great show. We also want to thank the Dalek Builders of Florida for not only lending out Dalek Hal, but we just being across from us. We're going to be working together as a united front to do more stuff together. We don't know the exact plans as of yet, but right now, as like we said, Tampa Bay Comic-Con, both Hal and Ren, as you can see, is the white Dalek on the right, are going to be there. Not
Glory to the Empire.
minus Dark Helmet. And the 501st, which allowed me this wonderful picture.
Yeah.
And speaking of wonderful pictures, Dave is still out there. I think he's going to be joining us in the after party with Tim. But he had a great time over at the MCM in the UK. I'm like, the hell, man. And not only that, he took it, and we feel so bad for them. And I hope you guys open up the attraction here somewhere in the United States, especially. But our friends over at Time Fracture, they have finally closed the doors for the last time. But the Traveling TARDIS got to go with Dave there for their last event. Hurrah out there. And not only to make things worse, but to add insult to injury, the Traveling TARDIS was there for the Jubilee.
Yes.
Nice.
I hate you, Dave.
But Simon and Tony got the photo.
I know.
That's all that
So
matters.
Tony got to see the Traveling TARDIS, but Simon was just like, "Oh, I've been through this one."
So many times, I don't care.
And I just got to give a shout out to whoever this cosplayer was, because I had to do 3 takes on this cosplayer. I
Dead
swear
ringer.
it was
Dead
him.
ringer.
And he says, "No, it's not. It's not who you think it is." But a complete dead ringer there. And just some other visuals out here. Amelia Poole. She wanted to do that picture. These guys wanted to do this picture. It was brilliant out there.
Yeah.
And I told Faith, when I went over the 501st, I met the Emperor. And with Faith's little editing, she came up with this little ditty, and I love it.
Fantastic.
That is just so cool. And the Traveling TARDIS is still continuing on its journey. Dave still has it in Columbus, Ohio. So I got the picture
That's
from
right. He's
Dave
at
now.
Origins this weekend, right?
So a lot of conventions. Yeah, he's at Origins right now, and hopefully it'll make its way home here very shortly. Got a Time Fracture closed early. Yeah. I'm so curious as to why. I'm just like, first of all, we were like, come on, guys, bring it on over here.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how long their initial run was supposed to go to. I know it's early.
It was supposed to go on for a while. I remember, though, that they had the building that they were in had lots of issues where it flooded.
Yeah.
It could have very well been one of those scenarios. And I'm going to go remute myself because my cat...
I hear it. There's no denying it. I hear it. Where is it? Where is the cat?
No, my one takeaway for cons, for everybody who goes to cons, and it's especially the big ones. We're talking the Dragon Cons, the MegaCons, and all that. If you're only going to go one day, don't make it Saturday. Avoid Saturdays like the plague. There is a reason everybody goes on Saturday, because they want that one star, that one person, that one thing. And then they go, well, I had to wait in line for 2 hours to get my ticket. I had to wait in line 2 hours to get the autograph, and I didn't get to do anything else. Yes, that's what Saturdays are for. Saturdays are to get that one thing you need to do. That's what the rest of the con's for. Go have more, go on a Thursday, go on a Friday, go on the slower, go on the Sundays, and explore. That's where you find the authors that you don't know, the events that you don't know, and find those fun panels and just have more fun. And then don't complain because Saturday was busy. Guess what? Yes, Saturdays are busy at every con. Even the little cons, Saturdays tend to get busy. So,
but MegaCon, it was just like I was watching people. The parking lot was closed. They were literally. My friends were telling me that they were having to park over at Point Orlando. There was no shuttle from Point Orlando.
So they had to
park out an Icon.
They were 1,000 tickets shy of selling out.
Wow.
Which now, considering that convention center holds 200,000 people. So that's not 4-day passes were added into that. Vendors were added into that, all that. So that's like about 180,000 tickets.
Yeah, there was vendors that did not get parking. that
Yeah.
they had to park out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we
There's
had to-
exhibitors that had to park out in the middle
we
of
didn't even
nowhere.
get into parking till like almost 10. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, what?
It was a
I
2-hour
wouldn't
wait to get in.
I wouldn't say from in Mark's case, if you have to go on a Saturday and it opens at 10, make sure you're at the door by 8. I am
7.
not kidding you. Maybe, yeah, that's not even an exaggeration. 7. Are you going to have to start selling tickets? Mark? Yeah.
I did a big.
He's worth it. He's worth the admission price.
And yes, no, there you go. Well, when you're queuing, imagine, Saturdays hanging out in the queues. That's what Saturdays are for. And honestly, as vendors, Saturdays that was our busiest day.
Yes.
But it's one of those days I usually don't know what to expect on Saturdays, like if we're gonna sell more or not, because it's so packed, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
So usually Sundays are kind of like that for me, because some people will do I'm going to walk around and see everything first, and I get that. I'm a horrible salesperson when I say, go if you're on a budget, go check out everything, because there are tons and tons of talented artists and authors and creators and all sorts of things that you don't want to spend all your money and then stumble upon the one thing you've been looking for. But have that feel of it like it's kind of like a flea market or kind of like a thrift store, in that most of these people are independent, so they're not going to be carrying a crazy amount of inventory. So be prepared on Sunday that something sells out, because I did have prints that sold out, and I had to take orders that I have to now print and ship. And then some people thought about that. Other artists won't even that might dawn on them. So if it's something that you have to have, get it when you see it.
If you're going to go on a Friday, if you're going to go on a Saturday, even Thursday felt like Saturday. That's how nutty it was. I was like wall to wall.
It was long, 2 to 9.
Yeah.
And it's still wall to wall people.
Birthday.
Well,
and artists have to load in.
Definitely, if you're going to go on a Saturday, a couple things. Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a backup plan. So if that plan fails, like Melanie said, don't expect to go to the Magic Kingdom and ride Space Mountain. If that ride breaks down, what are you going to do?
Yep.
You're going to go to Haunted Mansion. You're going to go Hall of Presidents. You're going to go on Splash Mountain. You're going to have a backup plan. Hydrate. Know where all the fountains are. You make sure you're carrying water. Make sure you're carrying your meds. Plan as if you were going to a theme park on Christmas Day.
Yeah, and also plan on cell service in some of these places.
Yes,
crazy. That was Mega. If you had AT&T, you were fine. Or any of the ones that use AT&T, like Cricket and all that.
If you had T-Mobile, this thing was a brick.
Yep, it was useless for you.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't contact anybody. You couldn't find anything. That was on T-Mobile, but
you couldn't do transactions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And T-Mobile had a booth there.
Yeah, I was about to say T-Mobile had a booth. I was just like,
and I walked up to them too. I'm like, you want to explain to me what's going on?
But then I've had other cons where it's the other thing, where AT&T didn't work and other ones were working. So it's just plan on that to make backup locations. Just like when you go to a theme park. Hey, if I lose you and we lose communication, you lose your phone or something. Meet here at 6:00. Meet by the big yellow sign that says cosplay. Whatever.
And you will get lost.
If we get separated, where do we meet?
Yeah, exactly.
You will get lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even a given. I've gotten lost so many times.
Bring cash with you if you don't think that you're going to need it. Definitely bring some. In my case, where I was at Motor City, I mean, the Sheridan, their internet's iffy as it is. But even if you're a vendor and you were paying for the Wi-Fi on our Saturday, it went down for everybody.
Yep.
So
one guy paid for the Wi-Fi and it wasn't working.
I know for myself, I lost some sales because people were not carrying cash with them. They went to the ATMs and the ATMs weren't working because everybody else was already there, or they had a line that was as long as the line waiting for food, trying to go to the ATM. So that's always one thing, is carry extra cash with you, because you never know what could happen. I had a couple friends had to go out into the parking lot to try to get theirs because they couldn't get theirs to work. And I'm like, I ran manual the whole entire week because I already prepared. I'm like, I'm just going to run manually, and that's what I did.
I think, I'm going to give a special shout out to Jay Chapman, who not only came here from Canada as our co-host, to be part of everything. He helped me with the booth, and I swear to you right now, to this moment, to this day, had he not been there, I would still be striking the booth and trying to get the hell out of the MegaCon today. I mean, it was just an insane thing, and at one point he helped me because I was just getting, like I said, I'm not dissing MegaCon, but the panels were on one side of the convention area, and I was on the other side of the convention area.
Mhm.
My pedometer of my pedometer.
That's north-south for you.
I know that my pedometer of the phone was going like, had never done anything. It's going like, are you being chased? It's like, is somebody chasing you? Do I have to call 911? What the hell is going on? Hello, Gadget, who does a wonderful job on bringing us information and updates on, especially on the rumors that are coming out of the 60th anniversary. Yeah. I use walkie-talkies. You guys need to do a con. We have done it in the past. We might revisit.
Haven't we done two? Yeah.
We did too, but you know what? It probably doesn't hurt to revisit for folks.
Who we can always have new ones because Lord knows, I don't know. I don't think I've ever mentioned that if you're an exhibitor or if you're buying stuff, there's Cash App, there's Venmo, there's PayPal, there's Zelle.
You got all your options.
Transact.
Yep. Make your options open.
So without further ado, let me go ahead and just bring this on. Howdy, folks. How goes it? Jonathan Phillips, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Can't wait to meet Paul McGann. This is at Chester Comic-Con.
He's amazing.
He's a hoot.
Paul's amazing. We had him on the show, and this one moderated a panel for him at MegaCon eons ago.
I loved it. I adored it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Just to keep everybody aware of what's going on this July.
I'm in this commercial, kind of.
You are?
You'll see Timothy's on, and I'm in the background.
Okay.
It's my booth.
This is Tampa Bay Comic-Con. This will be taking place July 29th through the 31st, and it'll be taking place at the Tampa Bay Convention Center. We will be having a booth over there, and we'll be joined by two Daleks, and hopefully, if it makes it through the mail, okay, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS itself will be front and center with everybody. You can get your picture with it. But as you get Amelia,
amazing.
This is a larger mid-size con. This is it's not MegaCon insane, but it's getting there. So,
and the main reason why we're going is because Christopher Eccleston will be there that weekend, and I plan to do a lot of things.
There I am, I'm back there.
Yeah.
There's my booth.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's back there. It's like, there I am.
I was in the corner.
I was in the corner. That's me in the corner.
So get your tickets now because you know what? Like we said, you want to get prepared. You want to be there early. 44 days. And wow, I didn't even know they had that timer there.
That's nice.
And there he is. Bunga. Christopher Eccleston will be there.
Very happy.
Very excited. So hopefully we will get to see. Hopefully he has a panel out
Already got my tickets for his photo op. So
we're going to have a few panels out there as well. And don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook page, the YouTube channel.
Hopefully they don't cross this.
I'll bring that back up, Melanie. I wanted to read that.
Sorry.
I'm from Britain, by the way. Live near Liverpool, birthplace of the Beatles. Well, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for joining us tonight out there. Appreciate it. And it's almost...
Dan was from, right? If you're a Scouse, you speak Scouse, it's Liverpool?
I think so.
I believe so.
Yep. Jonathan, am I correct or am I wrong again? Am I being an American? Let me know.
And I'm proud to be. Not sure if the US. Oh, go ahead. No, you take it.
Not sure if USA, but this is a pro tip for getting around virtual ticket system in the UK. Get friends to go and get virtual tickets first thing in the morning, then play swapsy with virtual tickets. Bad idea. Yeah, we don't have
bad idea.
Not many cons that do virtual tickets here, I don't think.
But we have, I have what happened with a couple of my friends. Their mom came with them. Mom's not into the con at all, but they needed a ride and all this. So mom stood in line all day reading her book while they ran around and did the con, so then they could join her back in line when their time came up for meeting Brendan Fraser. So
Daniel, who is the driver of Dalek Hal. And he's one of the couple of people who are the Dalek builders of Florida.
Nice.
Thank you, Andrew. And thank you, Jonathan.
There we go. So see us end of July. You know what? We didn't get any subscribers this time around. We did get a lot of boosts. We're getting close to 62,000 subscribers on our Facebook page. We're just a couple hundred people away from that. And our page has been growing really massively. Insane. So I'll tell you what. For you folks who are going to be staying in the after party.
Click that like button.
What's that?
Click that like button.
Hit the like button. I still want you to hit the like button. But if you're sticking for the after party and going to see Mr. Tim Hunt, I will release my camera, and you will get to see Summer in just a few moments. So, for those of you sticking around with us, thank you so much. For our friends in the audio, listening to the audio version, join us on iHeartRadio, sci-fi.radio. You can download the app for free, cbsradio.com, Spotify, Spreaker, Podbean, Blair FM, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts are sponsored by the friends at the Hanging with Web Show TV Media. We want to thank them for that over there. Don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook page. Yep, we're climbing up to 62,000, and we want to get to 70,000 for ego reasons, because if we get 70,000, we will be tied with Big Finish. Seriously. If we get 70,000 followers on our Facebook page, we will be tied with Big Finish as far as their followers. If anybody wants to confirm, I checked it, unless their numbers went up recently. Definitely.
That's insanity.
So, folks, thank you for joining us. We're going to go in the after party. We're going to bring in Mr. Tim, who's going to be talking about Capital City Comic-Con. Thank you for those of you listening to the audio. If you want to watch more, again, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel below. Super chats and super thanks are welcome to help out our production costs. Thank you, folks. Here we go. We're going into the after party. Boom! There's Tim right there.
Hey.
Hello, Tim.
Hi.
Not bad. How are you doing tonight?
Good. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah.
This poor man has been sitting backstage for 20 minutes.
I know, he's eating too.
I was like,
it was like fine.
Oh, that's
Tim,
okay.
I hope we did you justice. There's your picture right there, my friend.
Yeah.
This is
I was enjoying the conversation. I'm reading the chat here, and
oh yeah, we got lots of them. Yeah. This is Mr. Tim Hunt. He is make sure I get this right. You are co-owner and showrunner for Capital City Comic-Con, which will be taking place mid-July.
Yes, July 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Gotcha.
And we are the capital city that's in Michigan, not the capital city Comic-Con that is in British Columbia.
Yeah, I found that too.
Yeah.
So welcome, Tim.
I didn't know there was one in British Columbia.
You know what? I'm going to go silent for just a little bit because I might have a surprise for everybody. I'm going to pick her up. But Mackenzie, if you'd like to introduce your friend Tim, tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening middle of July. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so we've already introduced you guys to Tim. I actually am going to be one of the vendors / authors, delivery guests out there in July. Going to be doing some panels about writing. So I love to market and learn different things and get connected with different people. So when I heard about Capital City Comic-Con and then they were going to be expanding this year, I got really excited. I'm like, I got to get on my list and go from there.
Yeah, this is our first year as a multi-day show.
Ooh.
We've always been a one-day Comic-Con before, and we've moved into a convention center, and we're going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday now. So in the past, we've always had a smaller group of vendors, smaller group of Artist Alley. This year, we're able to expand a bit. So Mackenzie's coming as one of our authors. We've got about 12 authors coming in that do, sci-fi, fantasy, steampunk, horror, various genres, both for young adult and adults. We've got, I think, 1 or 2 kid authors as well. Children's authors too. So it's nice to be able to bring in non-comic stuff in different realms that fit our genres that that attendees like, of course. So yeah, we're excited to be growing this year and excited to get out and do this kind of stuff where we get to talk to people that may have never heard about us before.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We love growing cons. Those are always good.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, especially growing the Whovian base, because it's like we were great. Motor City did really good. Michigan, not too great. That's why they're not there anymore when it comes to just conventions in general. So now it's time for you guys to take their place.
So how big is the Lansing Center? So
I think the 3 halls together are 70,000 or 90,000 square feet, something like that. So we have all 3 halls this year.
Wow.
We were only going to do 2, and then we were asked to host a wedding on Sunday for 2 of our cosplayers.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. So we have a pretty big cosplay group that is now national, and they're a nonprofit. They started here in Lansing. It's the League of Enchantment, and they dress up as superheroes, Marvel, DC, other independent, doesn't really matter. What they do is they go to children's hospitals, make visits. They go and do stuff in parades, local events, things like that. They raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. So it's the capital city Batman and Wonder Woman. So they are two of the leaders of the group and founders of the group, and they met in the group, and they decided to get married, and they asked us if they could just do it at the convention because they've got so many friends in this community already. They're friends with most of the vendors, most of the artists, a bunch of our special guests, almost everybody that's in the various cosplay groups, not even just theirs. So it made sense for them to just say, hey, let's have 1,000 people at our wedding. We just want to do it. We need a space big enough. So we added the third hall. We were only going to use 2. We added the third hall so that we could accommodate a 500-600 person wedding on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Sci-Fi Bartow did a wedding. A couple of the 501st members did a wedding there, and it was amazing. Just a stormtrooper processional with Darth Vader officiating the wedding, which was incredible. So yeah, the cosplay weddings are the best.
Yeah. Yep. So everybody will be in costume. Not everybody. The bride and groom have almost traditional attire, but their attire is based on and has elements of the characters.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but then I heard that they're going to have a bunch of people dressed up as Amazons and other things like that. So yeah,
they'll have employees from Amazon with polo shirts on.
Amazon.
Wrong Amazon, Christian.
I just have to make this announcement. I apologize in advance, but you'll see why I can't bring Summer on. But let me show you what Summer does look like at the moment. Not at the moment, but that's Summer.
Puppy.
The reason why I can't bring her on is this is what Summer looks like right now. So I'm not going to wake her up.
Oh, no.
That's just not going to happen. And everybody's favorite picture of Summer. But yeah, she's a rescue.
Adorable.
Yep, she's our rescue, and we welcome her to the Basil family and whatever craziness that rides with that. So that is Summer. Yeah, thank you, Arthur. So there you go. I'm sorry, Tim. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, it's your show. I'm just here.
No, we're talking. This is your moment.
How many years have you been doing the con now that you're growing? How many years?
The first year was 2015.
Okay.
So, and I have not been involved the whole time. It was started by a group of 5 people. The first one was in a high school gym. They had a few hundred attendees, I think, and I think maybe a dozen vendors or so, something like that. And then we moved to a facility at Michigan State University here in town, and we ran on campus until through 2019. We took 2020 and 2021 off due to the world. So this will be our first time back after 3 years. It's been 3 years now since we've done our show. So yeah, lots of changes this time around. We've never brought in any media guests before. So we've always had comic book writers and artists, and this year we've got some of the actors from Aliens franchise coming. We've got 4 of the Marines.
Oh wow!
We've got
cool.
Yep, we've got 3 Peanuts voice actors, the voices of Charlie Brown, Peppermint Patty, and Lucy from the old cartoons.
Yeah.
They're coming, and we've got some anime voice actors that were on. We've got 4. All 4 were on Yu-Gi-Oh! All 4 were on Pokemon, and 3 of the 4 did voices on Ninja Turtles as well.
See, you went old school. I like that.
Yeah, and like all voice actors, they've all got 1,000 credits. They've all been on, every anime thing in some regard. So, and then we've also got we've got a sculptor, Rob Miller, who was on Sci-Fi Channel. We've got Alexis Noriega, famous mechanical wing builder. An engineer, Brian Donahue, game author and game designer and author, plus a huge artist alley this year. 80 people in our artist alley this year.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so about, like I said earlier, about a dozen of those are authors like Mackenzie, and the rest are a mix of mostly comic creators, and then we have some people that just do original pinup art and that kind of stuff too. So yeah, nice big artist alley this year. About a little over 200 exhibitors total between the special guests, artist alley, and our vendors, cosplay groups, and other clubs and charities that are coming in.
Sounds nice.
It is nice. It's big. It's a lot to manage this time around.
I can imagine. So what are your estimated attendance?
That's a good question. Going from 1 day to 3 days, we don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Right.
The last time we ran our show, we were at about 2,000 people for a Saturday only show.
Okay.
But that was also with no actors coming in.
Yeah. No guess.
So, I mean, I hope we get 10,000. I don't know if we'll hit that number. We'll see.
Good number to shoot for.
Coming off of COVID, I've seen it go both ways. I've seen some cons that are crazy busy and completely packed, and I've seen some others just they were duds. And so I don't know what the difference is, but in Michigan, there's a huge glut of one-day events and only a couple multi-day events. So we wanted to grow big. We wanted to stand out and be one of the shows that people have to be at, whether you're a vendor, an artist, attendee, whatever. So yeah, we decided to go multi-day. And so I think there's only Motor City, which Mackenzie, you mentioned, that's multi-day, that's 3 days. Grand Rapids is 3 days. Traverse City is 3 days. And then we're, I think, the only other 3-day show in the state.
Oh.
So
now Tim.
Well, the fact that you're right between, almost equidistant between Detroit and Grand Rapids, you should be able to at least pull the travel towards that.
And that's what we've always been hoping. We've always advertised out, in a 100-mile or so radius pretty heavily, because every major metropolitan area in Michigan, except for Traverse City, is within an hour and a half drive of us. So it's nice to be in the center of the state.
Yes.
Now, Tim, I don't know if anybody asked this because I was over with Summer. What's your street cred when it becomes as a Whovian?
So I will go ahead and be honest. I love the original series.
Wait. I want to inflate your face when you say this.
Be nice to our guests.
I am. I'm being, but Tim,
I love the original series. I grew up on it. The Fourth Doctor is my favorite because I used to watch it as a kid every Saturday on PBS with my dad. I like, I watched the Third Doctor before Tom Baker, and I watched all the way up through the Seventh. As a teenager, I was super happy in college when Fox got the rights to Doctor Who, and I watched that movie. We had a party in my dorm room, and then we were all really disappointed.
It's made me spill my drink there.
So sorry. That was awesome.
Yeah, so I have a lot of episodes on DVD and actually VHS too. I've got a lot of back in the 90s before I owned a DVD player. I bought a lot of the VHS tapes from, I think back then it was Borders maybe, or I don't know. I wherever. I also recorded them, off of PBS and stuff like that. So I've probably still got those somewhere in a basement box.
I have my VHS tapes over there. I'm not.
Where I just, I'd record them along with the commercials and the PBS commercial. Of course, they didn't do commercials in the middle of the show on PBS back then. It was, they started the show, let the whole show play, and then they had 6-7 minutes of commercials in between. But I've got a lot of that stuff still on videotape around. The newer series, I have not really watched. I
would, Arthur.
Well, I have 2 kids. I run a Comic-Con. I have another job in addition to that. I take care of my mom. I have a lot of stuff going on, so we don't have a ton of time. I think we watched the first few episodes once it came on Amazon, and then just life got in the way, and I don't watch a whole lot of stuff anymore. Usually my TV habits are I won't watch anything for a couple months, and then I'll pick a show and I'll binge it late at night while I'm sitting at my laptop after everybody's in bed. So recently I've been rewatching the Netflix Marvel stuff just so that I can catch up and see it all again before I dive into Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk and all that stuff. So I'll get to the new Doctor Who stuff eventually because I do love Doctor Who. Growing up on it, I mean, that's what got me into sci-fi. Doctor Who and Star Wars. Those were the two things that I watched the most as a kid.
It would be embarrassed about your street cred. It sounds really good. It sounds a sequel to
Good
mine,
cred for
dude.
us. That works.
That's some good cred there. For those of you watching, please www.capcitycomiccon.com.
Yeah.
Sorry. Put that. Let me spell that right.
Here's another thing. I played the Doctor Who card game 20 years ago, the old original one.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
I don't think I
love that.
have the cards anymore, but I used to buy every game. So I played Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Babylon 5, Aliens, Predator when that came out. Just because they're all interesting and different mechanics and whatnot. So yeah, I had a bunch of Doctor Who cards. And that I've still got all of my on my bookshelf. I've got all of my things that are like 30th anniversary, 25th anniversary, 35th anniversary. Every few years they release a book and it's got new details and lists everything. So yeah, I've still got all that stuff.
Nice.
Some of it's probably fled my mind by this point, but Key to Time's my favorite
Yay!
series.
What's wrong with that?
Who's your doctor then? I know you mentioned
Tom
before,
Baker.
but it's still okay. It's still Tom.
Yeah. Well, Tom Baker was the Key to Time. It was that's when
First Romana.
It was the first. It was the first Romana turned into Romana 2. In that series. Yep.
I'm just pulling up this comment, Jonathan. I'm kind of struggling to think which item I want to get signed by Paul McGann, my Doctor Who autograph book, or my CD copy of Scherzo written by I
already know which one Christian.
I already know. I'm going for Scherzo, but you have a Doctor Who autograph book that would make more sense. But I'm a big fan of Rob Sherman, and Scherzo is still one of my favorite. Both of his
playing the role playing game, so that's what I do. So, but Paul will sign anything, but he does charge per autograph. So just be ready for that.
Totally worth it though.
Oh yeah, he'll give you a show with it too. He doesn't just sign.
Oh yeah,
he'll tell you what he did in this and all that. He's one of the best guests you can get. So.
He's a talker.
Oh yeah, he and Colin Baker both are great talkers.
And Capaldi.
Finish. You can whatever title is about Big Finish, you'll be like, oh yeah, and I did this and this. Like he could tell you these just stories, and I'm like, how in the world do you remember these? You've done so many audios.
And that's what Sylvester McCoy will be sitting next to him going, how do you remember that?
Yeah.
He won't remember, but he'll be right there in the conversation, just jabbing him.
Yeah.
I'll turn on my camera for this.
A lot, and I went to Gallifrey One, and one of the things I did is I went in and I sat down. I'm like, I want to listen to Colin Baker just tell stories, and that's what he did. And then I got in the autograph. The person in front of me had this big Finish collection, and he's like just talking stories. I'm like, geez, it just blew my mind.
Nice.
You could see here, Sylvester. This is the bottom of the traveling TARDIS because eventually the bottom fell out, pun intended there. And I told Paul was the first one to sign it. And he knows about he loves the traveling TARDIS. He sees it everywhere. Is that the TARDIS? Yes. But I asked him kindly. I said, Paul, I only can get so many doctors' names on here. This is going to be all the doctors' TARDISes. He grabs a thing, signs half the thing, hands it back to me, and I go, but I need other. He goes, shh, my TARDIS. It's like yeah. So that is Paul
and then
McGann.
Sylvester took the bottom half.
Sylvester took the bottom half. Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and David Tennant have all signed it. Yeah. And when I see Christopher, he'll be next. And then I'm not going to have room for anybody. Thanks, guys, for writing so big in the first place out there.
Sadly, I've got a bail, gang. I've got a call coming in. So
yep,
it been fun. We'll see you all at Tampa Bay.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
See you there.
See you next time.
Hopefully my panel doesn't compete with yours this time. So that would
Yeah,
be
well,
nice.
you know, God willing.
It
will.
I know it will. You know it will. That's
will.
why I'm
It's
just
going
saying
to.
it.
Just bring your little microphone, your headset.
Well, the paranormal peeps will come to mine, and I'll send all the Doctor Who people to you because that's how it works. But
that works.
Yeah, I love y'all. Bye.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye, Mark.
Tim, I got a question.
Yeah, I see that in the chat there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Well, first, Gadget, thank you. Appreciate that. And then Mark Robinson says, Tim, what made you decide to get to become an owner and do a convention in Michigan, and also so stressful work? Yes, it is some stressful work, mostly the couple months leading up to the show. What made me decide to do it? I've been a comic collector my whole life. I started in the 70s. First comic was a Star Wars comic, or maybe a Batman or Superman that my dad bought me. I don't know. I was probably 4 or 5 years old. And then probably around junior high, I just started buying them all the time. Eventually you end up with a collection and you just keep going. So I've been into comics for a long time. So I mentioned earlier, I was not one of the original founders of this show. There was a group of 5 people that were owners of the show. They started it. My good friend Brian, became an owner on year 2 or year 3, I think. He was friends with somebody else that was in the group, and when somebody left, they brought him in, and he asked me to come help out, and I said okay. And then the next year, one of the owners wanted to leave, and so I took their spot. It's now just down to the 2 of us. We've had a few people leave over the past few years, and now Brian and I are co-owners of the show. What makes me continue to do it? That is a question my wife asks me all the time.
You ever see her again? Because you're a showrunner, you'll never see a house.
Yeah, I'm lucky. She works from home now permanently since COVID started. So yes, I see her all the time. But why do I continue to do it? I love comics. I love the community. I love putting the event on and seeing people be successful at the show, whether that's vendors, guests, artists, attendees. It's really stressful leading up to it. We're always, of course, concerned about numbers. What's our attendance going to be like? That kind of stuff. At the end of the weekend, when it's all done, yep, there's always problems. There's always going to be, but you can look around and say 95% of the people here had a good time. Most of them are going to come back. Vendors are happy. They sold stuff. Artists found new fans. Authors sold books to people who have never heard of them before. We hope our special guests want to come back, which some of them have. We've had a number of guests that have come every year or every other year. So it's a good feeling. At the same time, it's nice to be able to turn this into a job, which is what we're working for a number of people. There's a lot of conventions out there that are fan run, that are nonprofit. We are all fans, but we are not a nonprofit. We are a for-profit, a limited liability corporation, and our goal is to have staff and be able to pay everybody something to be able to enjoy their hobby and participate at a professional level.
Now, I know this sounds like a job application, but I am interested. Hang on a second. As a showrunner of a convention, what was the biggest challenge you had? How did you overcome it?
Biggest challenge?
Yeah. Something that was like, oh, I didn't expect this. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, now I got to expect this.
Biggest challenge. I think the biggest challenge is catching up on work that needs to be done when somebody drops the ball on something either important or that's time sensitive. And we've had that happen a few times because this is not a full-time job for any of us yet. So we've
Damage
all
control.
Yeah, we've all got lives. Things happen. A couple of years ago, one of the owners, his dad got sick and he couldn't spend time doing stuff. Needed to drop out. We had to replace him, find somebody to get that work done. So that's probably the biggest struggle, actually, just getting somebody new to step in, finding the right person, making sure they have the skills. I mean, it really is a job interview for a lot of these things that we need. We just brought on this year somebody to handle all of our special guest handlers. Because we've never really had that before. We've only ever brought in comic guests. Most of them don't require somebody to assist them or do anything. They just kind of show up and do their thing, and that's it. So we've never really had that before. So that was the thing that we had to deal with this year, is bringing in somebody to help us do that who's done it before. So we got somebody from a different convention who was willing to come in, and it's working out really well so far. We're learning a lot, but everything is being done properly. We're hopefully not floundering through this first time. We did learn a big lesson this year. We need a travel agent. Because, well, all of the guests, they all require flights and transportation from the airport and the hotel and everything else. And so it's a pain in the butt to deal with all of that ourselves. So we're going to get a travel agent next year to just handle it all for us. But I think the biggest thing for convention owners of our size, that mid-size regional kind of show, is of course you have to promote, but I think the most important thing is customer service. My partner Brian and I talk about that all the time. Customer service to your vendors, your artists, your guests, your attendees, your sponsors, making sure that you are doing all of the things that you need to do to make everybody happy. And not that you're going to make 100% of the people happy 100% of the time. That doesn't happen. But just things like communicating as best we can. And we still sometimes drop the ball, but you apologize, you fix it, and you move on. Make sure that people are taken care of. Make sure that there's no egregious error on our part that's malicious or of ill intent. That's the biggest thing. There's promoters out there who just don't care. They want the paycheck from the vendors, and then they don't do anything after that.
But it's also about having a good team too. I forgot who it was, but there was like a guy that says, what is the perfect convention for you? And he goes, I don't hear from anybody because I trust everybody enough that they'll take care of themselves, that they don't come to me unless there's something really, really important. So the best convention is me quietly. Now he still walks around and makes sure and greets the guests and everything. But for the most part, he goes like, I really, if I can trust the team and they can put out the fires locally, then, I did what I was supposed to do as far as hiring the right people. Still not an easy task, but that goes, the best conventions are the ones I've never heard from. It's like, okay, cool. So.
Yep, that's something that we're trying to strive for. We've talked about how Brian and I don't want to be in charge of anything for the weekend. We need people in charge of everything so that we can just walk around, make sure that everybody has what they need. If there's, there's fires to put out, but competent staff will do that. At the same time, there'll be something that they'll have to ask us for. That's fine. But I also know that if I tell somebody this is how I want it handled, they'll go and handle it that way. So after COVID, with 2 years off, losing a bunch of our team and trying to rebuild now, it's picking the right people is a key thing.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Tim,
Very
where do you see Capital City Comic-Con and your role as a showrunner? If you could see the future in 5 years, where do you see your vision for this?
In 5 years,
I'm sorry, I sound like a job application.
No,
you're
it's like
fine.
he's interviewing now.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
no,
true.
You're
This
asking a
is-
lot of deep questions. I mean, really.
I know.
But this is the
Do you
after
know- wait,
party.
wait, wait,
Anything
I know.
goes,
What kind
right?
of after party is this? You making Tim sit for an interview?
Wait. Melanie's the one who's.
Fine.
I have a friend or two, and there's been people on our fans out here who've come up to me and go, "Christian, why don't you run your own convention?" I'm just like, because I don't have a backbone. I can't do
No,
it.
there's a lot of logistics. In
it's a
another
lot of
life, I was a
logistics.
trade show coordinator, not for
Yeah.
comic conventions, but for a different industry. So everything you're saying, I'm like, yeah, it's not. And that's the thing I've said before. We could, in theory, do a small convention, but you have to have that level set of, okay, this is my attendees. I'm looking for maybe 1,000 people to show up. That'll be great. In case 2,000 show up, it's a lot of planning. If you do a lot of planning, you should be fine, but you should also plan for when problems happen, how you're gonna fix those. So
depending upon the size of the convention, it's so many moving parts.
Oh, absolutely.
And you cannot oversee it. Like, you have to hopefully every gear, every piece of metal is moving in the right synchronicity, that you are just, you're just having, okay, I'm just watching the clock and making sure this thing, makes it to the next hour safely. And if I can do that without having to move anything, then great day. But go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry. Back to your job application.
I don't remember what your question was.
Yes, pick a different question, Christian.
Yeah.
Well, it was just say, where do you see yourself in, like,
different question, something
Yeah,
fun. It's an after party, damn it.
Okay, all right.
Here's where I see myself in 5 years.
Okay.
We have a multi-billion-dollar
There it is.
corporation that's running 20 events around the country. It's called Comic Fan Expo or something like that. I don't know.
Is that
already taken? I don't know.
You're already
maybe we'll call it Comic Wizard Expo or something like that. I don't know. We'll come up with a snazzy name. We'll all be billionaires, and we won't care what happens to vendors when they walk in.
Who ultimately would you want?
Because I know some people who don't care about what happens to vendors. Oh,
I know.
sir.
I know some too. Let me be serious. In 5 years, we have talked about running multiple shows that will not all be Comic-Cons. I would love in 5 years to have us at 10,000 attendees regularly. I think that's a nice sweet spot for a mid-level con. I think that, and I go to big shows, but they are a completely different animal. I don't want to run a Motor City or a Fan Expo or a Wizard World or those kinds of things. That's too much, because at that point, I don't get to do the things that I like to do, which is interact with the vendors and the artists and the guests and do the promotional events and be out there in the community and all of the things that I get to do now. At a certain point, even now we're having people come on board to take over various things, and that's great. I love it that I have a graphic designer who just makes what we need, and I love that we have a social media person who just posts what we need, because that's not my thing. But I love talking to people on the phone. I love talking to people in person. I love doing the promotional events. I love being the one who gets to decide which vendors are we going to have, which artists are we going to have, who should our guests be next year, and if we grow too big, I don't know that I get to do that anymore. But I also think that Lansing, Michigan is never going to be a 50,000 person convention. We're Lansing, Michigan. I don't think that our area would support something that large. So in all seriousness, I hope in 5 years we've got 10,000 attendees regularly, and we're a show that consistently sells out vendors, artists, that guests call us and want to come and beg us to find them a spot. and that attendees go, oh, they announced their date. Well, that goes on my calendar. I can't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we want to be.
Should you want to bring me in? I fit on. I can take any cheapo airline, and I fit in any office cubicle. But money's no option. Top 3 celebs you would personally want at your convention.
Money is not.
No option. You can just.
Money's no option. You have the
irrelevant.
guarantees. You can
Top
do this.
3.
Top
Okay.
3. Who would you want to bring?
Top 3 celebrities. That's a hard question. Wow. I would want to bring.
And this is for your sake. Don't think about the con like in general. Just for your take, what would be the?
Oh, this is like for me personally, my favorite.
Yeah. If you could, you could bring them up.
My first answer is actually a couple. So you can count it as 1 or 2. Kelly Sue Deconnick and Matt Fraction. She wrote, brought Ms. Marvel to fame. Matt Fraction, amazing runs on Hawkeye, Iron Man, X-Men, etc. They're both really cool people. I would love to have them at my show. I messaged them a few years ago and asked, and I did actually get a response from their assistant, who said that they only do a few shows a year and they look at minimum attendance for them to attend, and we do not meet that attendance.
No.
And I don't know if we would ever. We'll see in the future, but I would love to have them.
Because I've had the pleasure of meeting her, and I got her autograph, but that was at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep.
I brought up your website, Tim, because Mark Robinson asked the question: what dates is capacity? Capital City. So
July 8th, 9th, and 10th next month. So
just wanted to show you what the website looks like. Tickets are right now for. Do you have
that weekend pass is only $60. People go.
It is. It's $60. You get to see Charlie Brown, Peppermint Patty, and Lucy. You get to see 4 Aliens actors, a bunch of anime people, plus all of our comic guests. We have a stuntman there, Hamid Thompson, coming in. Oh yeah, there's our guests. Yeah, scroll.
Oh wow, I didn't mean to do that.
I'm gonna be in Lansing, funny enough, in 2 weeks. So I'll just start. Everybody I'll talk to, I'll keep stumping for your Comic-Con.
Yeah, let me know. I'll get you some flyers and you can hand them out on the corner.
Okay. I'll probably not do that, but okay.
Where was I? I don't remember what we were talking about.
Well, I was talking about the dates, but I wanted to impress everybody. Cap City Comic-Con. Here are the guest lists, and they just added Tom Arnold.
Yep.
Comic book celebrities include people I'm not familiar with, but I'll read them out. Jerry DeClaire, Mike DiCarlo,
Mike DiCarlo, yep.
Dan Daugherty, Kaylin Smith, Renee Witterstater.
Yep, you're
Jason
close on
Moore.
most of these.
Scott Rosema, Seth Damoose, Tony Mielo, Jim Shooter. Okay, I'm very familiar with that.
Got that one.
And Bob Hall.
Yeah.
And then on screen.
Yep. We also have a number of publishers there too.
There's the Aliens reunion.
Yeah, and then the Aliens. Yep, we've got 4 of the Marines coming in. We had a 5th who had to unfortunately cancel. He had another engagement come up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hamad Thompson for stuntmen voiceovers. Yep. Megan Hollingshead, Ted Lewis, Greg Abbey, Wayne Grayson. And I believe, there's the Peanuts reunion, Duncan Watson, Patricia Patz, and Melanie Cohn.
Yeah.
When did they do those? Wesley and the Crushers. The Shakeups. Oh, okay. We got musical artists, Mark Cooper.
We do.
Are you having after parties as well?
We are. We're having a number of different events Friday and Saturday night. So the convention center is attached to a hotel downtown, the Radisson.
Oh, cool.
We are doing, on Friday night, we have karaoke, which is open to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We have DJ Fluff and DJ Mark Cooper doing a rave, which is an extra ticket, or it's included in the VIP ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday night, we also have special ticket only Cigars and Stars. It is a cigar and whiskey tasting down the street at the cigar shop. We have 2 of the Aliens actors and a Jim Shooter and a couple other comic guests are going to be there. We have food provided by one of the local downtown restaurants. The cigars are provided. You have to bring your own alcohol because we cannot sell that, but you can buy a special ticket to that event. It's limited to only 30 people, and I know we have a few left. But it's just a hangout after the show Friday night with those people. We wanted to keep it small and intimate, so you'd have a chance to kind of hobnob a little bit with some of them and get more than just a few minutes at their table. Saturday night, we have the Cosplay Concert, which is Wesley and the Crushers and the Shakeups. They both come in costume. They're playing geek and nerd original music. The Wesley and the Crushers are from Michigan. They all dress up as either Star Wars or Star Trek characters, full costume. The Shakeups change their costumes every year. This year, they are the Teen Titans.
Ooh.
So, yeah. Both bands play around the country. I think they've both done Dragon Con. I think they've both done Gen Con. Yeah, so it's going to be a good time. We have a drink and draw for our artists Saturday night as well in the hotel. We're doing a trivia contest Saturday night in the hotel, and we have Tom Arnold doing a comedy stand-up set in the hotel Saturday evening as well. Yeah, so some of those things are part of the VIP pass. Some of those things you can just buy a separate ticket for. The 2 concerts you can buy a separate ticket for if you just want to go see that. Yeah, it's we're trying to make it an experience. Being a one-day show in the past has always meant nobody really stays the night. We were on campus, so there was no hotel nearby that was convenient. So moving into the convention center allowed us a lot of leeway in sort of how we chose to expand, and doing
you guys
evening
really
events.
done a lot of event planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of the things that you've done is similar to what Marcon's done back in the day, and that was all fan run too. And then now it got bigger as it went. It sounds like actually it's kind of like what you're envisioning for Capital City Comic-Con, because it has stayed small. It hasn't got as big as say Gallifrey 1, but it still has that intimacy where you still be able to interact, where instead of having 30 seconds with a guest, hi.
Right. Well, and that's kind of how we based these, how we tried to base these evening events on that specifically. So the Cigars and Stars was really meant to be, if you really love these people who are going to be there, then you have to buy a ticket. The Cigars and Stars tickets are $125. It may sound like a lot, but it's limited to 30 people, and you get to hang out for 3 hours with them and get food and cigars and drinks and chat with them, and all of them are talkers. Jim Shooter, last time he was at our show, we always did an artist reception after our show where we invited everybody from Artist Alley and all of our guests to come to an offsite space for dinner and drinks. And so the last time, Jim Shooter hung out for 4 hours drinking wine and chatting with everybody. He loves to tell stories. He's a great guy, fun guy. So we decided to try something a little different and sort of give people access to them if they really want to do that. It's the same thing with the drink and draw. Usually, a lot of drink and draws are just for artists, and we want to try to maintain that a little bit because we know they all want to get together afterwards and be able to network and stuff like that because they're all working on the show floor all weekend. But we also wanted to give the opportunity to people who buy a VIP ticket to get into that and have a little bit more time with those people, as well as kind of watching that process of they're all sitting there doing what they do. It also gives us the opportunity to we actually modeled ours after the Traverse City drink and draw that they've been doing for a long time. So we're asking artists to donate what they draw to an auction that supports our scholarship. we have a $1,000 scholarship to somebody at MSU because they have a comic arts program there.
Oh, wow.
So we do $1,000 every year. All the students in the program that want to apply. We're friends with the professor over there who teaches that program, and so we needed to make sure that it was funded, and that's a good way to do it. So. And then as far as the concerts go, the cosplay concert, we're inviting all the cosplay groups to come up into the concert for free. We're going to let them all have a table to promote their groups. We have a professional cosplay photographer there who does a full editing package for special effects and stuff on your costume. So he charges, his name is Dustin, and I don't remember his last name. I apologize, Dustin. So he comes, and we're going to be giving away at all of our costume contests a full price prize package from him, so that you can go and get a session for an hour or two with him at a location of your choosing, get all of your photos, and then he goes in and adds all the special effects and stuff.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
That would be amazing. I've been wanting to do something like that because I cosplay as a doctor. So when I'm going to be at CapCon, you'll have a doctor wandering around.
Yep. So he'll be in the vendor hall too, doing photos for people on site. He's got a big booth there, and he's got a green screen right there. He'll do your photos, and then you can pick, one of the cheap packages or one of the more expensive ones where he spends more time with you. So it's nice whether he's got multiple price points.
Yeah.
It's a very good
well, especially if someone's been waiting, really putting a lot of time and effort to put on their costume.
Yeah.
Depending on if they're doing a lot of makeup and all that kind of stuff, they're going to really make sure that the convention itself is where they're going to look completely 110%.
Right.
So to be able to get that photo while there,
that's
a really, really good sell, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
that's why we're bringing him in.
Right. So, I mean, to have to put your stuff all over again and then having to go specifically to a photographer, maybe people are kind of like, I don't want to have to do all of this just for. No, look, you are really giving people, you're building memories and giving them an experience with this convention.
And that's what we're trying to do with this. It's, there's a lot of shows that are one-day shows that don't have a whole lot going on. I love those shows because I can just go buy stuff, and they're great for collectors. But we want our show to be turned kind of into a weekend experience where you want to be there all weekend because there's so many cool things to do and see and experience. So I'm going to segue that into a quick lightning round of all the things I can think of that we will have at the show that we have not mentioned yet.
Okay.
So we have the Mystery Machine, Kit from Knight Rider,
Yes.
the Monstermobile from the Munsters, the hearse. We have an Invisible Jet this year. We already mentioned the wedding, but I'm going to mention the wedding again.
So nobody can find the jet.
We have paint and take for kids. We have mask making for kids. We have an activity book that is designed for kids. We have slime making for kids. We have we have a reptile adoption reptile rescue adoption group coming in with reptiles that you can adopt on the spot. They're going to be there Saturday and Sunday, but not Friday. They're going to have snakes, turtles, lizards, etc. that have all been rescued from injury, rehabilitated, and then you can come in and adopt them.
Wow. I see. One of the things on my bucket list is to hold a snake. I've always wanted to because I'm a little terrified of snakes, but at the same time, I think it'd be so cool to have one wrapped around. So I'm like,
Yep. I don't know if they'll let you take it away from their booth, but if they're willing to walk over with you, you could go to the photographer and get a picture of the snake.
There you go.
Yeah, I like it.
Have him turn that green screen into a jungle scene, and
I like that idea because I have one of the posts or pictures that I use that a lot of people like is I dress as one of my cosplays of Jodie as the 13th Doctor. I have a parrot that I carry around, and people are like, "Oh, that's so cool! You have a parrot!" So you have that one.
We've got free video game play this year with a couple video game tournaments. We have 4 or 5 we have 5 publishers, 5 comic publishers coming in. We have SourcePoint Press. They'll have some of their writers and artists in attendance as well. We have Caliber Comics. We have Scout Comics out of Florida coming.
I was going to say Scout's a good one.
Yep. We have Essential Comics from North Carolina coming, and Broken Icon Comics out of Ohio. So all of those publishers will be there with a full line of all of their books for sale. They're all bringing at least 2 writers and artists, if not more, from their lineup as well. So all of those people are not even listed on our special guest page yet. So if you are a comic fan and you're looking for stuff that's not Marvel and DC, this is the show to come to in Michigan.
Sweet.
We have, let me think what else we have. We have the robot from Lost in Space. Will be on display. You can get your pictures taken with that. We mentioned the bands. They'll all be on the show floor too. Wesley and the Crushers, the Shakeups, they'll be down on the show floor all weekend long in costume. We have the G.I. Joe group. We have the 501st, Mandalorian Mercs, Droid Builders, Rebel Legion, the League of Enchantment, Ghostbusters. Am I forgetting anybody? I think that might be it.
That's lots
as far as
because you're running a lot. You're hitting like all the groups I'm used to seeing.
There's just a few. Give us, we need more. It's just like 1 or 2. So
we do have a bunch of other clubs and charities that come in. We have our local library. We have a great charity that we support every year, Capital Area Literacy Coalition. They do tutoring for kids for reading, writing. They also do tutoring for adults that speak English as a second language. So we donate a portion of our proceeds every year to them. So they'll be there. We have a few other conventions there that we swap tables with. We've got gosh, I can't remember everybody. There's just too many. There's
that's
a lot
great
of
thing with other that I like with the smaller to middle, the cons, the ones that are run by people, not necessarily corporations, because you're in that community of a lot of it's its own showrunner community where that who else is running which convention. You're trying not to step on anyone's or go into anyone's territory, and you're trying to cross promote because to help one another. So that's awesome.
Yep. So and other than that, lots of vendors. What you'd expect. Lots of comic dealers, lots of toy dealers, lots of pop culture stuff.
And remember, this is Capital City Comic-Con. It's taking place at the Lansing Center, July 8th, 9th, and 10th. Tickets are on sale now. The weekend pass, save $10 on the entire weekend. If you buy each and every day, you could save $10. $60 for the weekend pass, because Friday, Sunday are $20. Saturday is $30. They also provide weekend VIP for only $200. Don't forget to go to capcitycomiccon.com and tell them the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. And by chance, you might meet, Mackenzie over there. Maybe. I don't know. You could. You might be able to. I don't know. But
unfortunately, I can't do
You can
this
meet her
year,
at her panel.
Yeah.
Exactly. Say hello to Mackenzie for us.
Yes.
And get her books. Buy her books. Buy lots of books.
Yeah, and I already know the
Binge Watcher's Guide.
because I have the Binge Watcher Guide to Doctor Who, the newest one. So there you go. You don't have the time to watch. Well, you got a book that picks you up.
Exactly.
Hopefully, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS can make its way up there at least for next year.
I think you guys might want to come next year.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a challenge. I like that. So you should come up.
Do you already have the dates planned yet, or
next year is June 30th, July 1st, and 2nd.
Okay.
If you're a Doctor Who fan, you should probably put that on your calendar.
All right. Alrighty. Again, don't forget capcitycomiccon.com. Tickets are on sale now. You can get your tickets there, book your hotels, everything, and check out all the guests and everything out there. Did you have any last words before we let you go for tonight? And don't forget, check out Tim himself, Tim Hunt. He is the co-owner of Capital City Comic-Con. Tim, did you have any further words before we end the episode tonight?
My final words to everybody are be kind and respectful.
I like that.
Works for me. And don't forget down below, youtube.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. None of you know subscribe.
Well, they're all watching the show. They're already
They're all watching the
subscribers.
show. They're not, yeah, but we appreciate all the 2175 who are with us and who have subscribed there. And you got to see Summer just a little bit, but I'm hoping by next episode you will get to see her live. I'll have the curtain finally back up, and I won't look as disheveled like I just got off work, which I literally did. Shush.
We're all used to living in this
Absolute
world.
shush.
Thank
you.
Thank you. Even without your curtain.
You know, don't diss the curtain. The curtain.
I have a blanket. You see, I have a blanket. I do that because otherwise you can't see me.
But I've got.
I need to do something about my window here behind me. I haven't. This is the second time that I've done this kind of video podcast. The first one was just a few days ago, and so I was not prepared for the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to it.
It wasn't too bad though.
That I can fix
honestly.
it. It's either the light behind the sun hit or this light above me, which is way too bright. And so I got another light, but I have to put together yet.
And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, next week we're going to have Arthur and Tom, our hashtag guru. We're going to be talking to the Guardians of Gallifrey, not the Guardians of the Galaxy, the other one. They've been around since 1986. We'll be discussing their time. Tom, who was a prior Lord President and current Lord President Arthur, who will be discussing about the Guardians, what they've been doing this whole time, and how you can join up to be a Guardian of Gallifrey here. If you live here in Orlando or if you live close by, you can join them, watch Doctor Who episodes once a month, have a good time, geek out, have some snacks, and enjoy. Ladies, did you have any further things before we go ahead and call it a night?
No, just I think the next comic convention for TLTT and me is Tampa Bay Comic-Con.
And
if people thought I am not going to be at Denver, I was originally slated to do Fan Expo Denver. However, I am not. So if you're going to Fan Expo Denver, have a great time. I will not be there. Tell me everything about it.
And before we go, everybody just say aw. One big aw. One big aw. We're going to end it with Summer as we began it. And folks, again, Tampa Bay Comic-Con at the end of July, we'll have information, and we do have an events page, so more information as we come. Dalek Hall, Dalek Ren, and Christopher Eccleston, not to mention Little Boy Blue will be there. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Tim, thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to check out his convention as well. We got it. I can't go home, but we got to stay here. I think I did.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, let's call it a night. Thank you, folks, and please always become part of the legend. Thanks for stopping by.